I went to meet this company with the intent of buying and spending £400,000. But in less than an hour, their competitor stole me away from them, and I will not spend even a single penny. And what's worse, this one simple mistake is probably happening in your business right now. So what was this about? So recently I acquired some land with the intent of building my dream home. And so I went to the home building exhibition, massive trade show where all kinds of businesses come to kind of sell you their wares. And my wife and I are looking to build a timber framed home. And we've been reading the different magazines, and there was one particular company, who shall remain nameless, that we really like the look of their designs. So we're trying to find the company that's going to do the timber framing and the encapsulation. And so we went to the home building expo with the intent of meeting them and spending the money, kind of committing and signing up once we just checked them out and met them. So we went along, went up to their stand. It was beautiful. They had all the photos. And the interesting thing is they did everything right. It was warm. It was friendly. We got to chat to the owner. And we're like, yeah, great. And we felt really good. And, we were going to go away and sleep on it, but ultimately it went well. We're like, yeah, good. We've met them. We've looked them in the eye. Like, this is the company that we want to do the business with. However, while we were there, we were stolen away and ultimately ended up choosing an entirely different company. And this simple mistake has cost that first company in excess of our timber framing and encapsulation will be about £400,000. And what's worse is that I could see this happening and it was systematic, and you're making the same mistake. So what is it? Well, after we met the first company, we're at the exhibition, right? So we're not in a competitive vacuum. We're walking around and just looking at some of the other stuff because we need other things for our house build, right? And there was another timber frame company that also had a stand. And the interesting thing was the stands were comparable. And again, their photos and examples look great as well. But they did a few things very differently. First, they immediately qualified us. Because the first company, they would just chat to anybody and we had to wait quite a long time to be seen. But we were diligent because we'd seen their photos and we really wanted to talk to them. The second company, they had a great qualifying question, which is, do you already have a plot? Because if you think about it, you're not going to appoint a company to build your timber frame unless you've already got a plot of land. So they're immediately calibrating how hot is this lead, because there's a huge volumes of people at this exhibition. So how do you decide who your salespeople are going to focus on? And again, this isn't just about an exhibition. How do you decide who your salespeople are going to do first? So first they qualified, and then the salespeople, so the people working the stand would ask if you had a plot of land, and then they'd introduce you to the sales reps if you had a plot, because they knew you were a more qualified prospect. And then what they would do is they would capture your information. The first company had just given us brochures and a card and promised to be in touch. The second company had taken our information down. And not just mine, my wife's as well. So they had names and emails and phone numbers. So they got multiple ways to get in touch. And they scheduled an appointment for us to have a further follow-up call. And then not only did they do that, they followed up with us consistently multiple times. So the end result is we went in with the intent of using company A, and the impression was perfectly good. But company B were much more spectacular in getting our attention, capturing our data and following up. So their follow-up was better. And then ultimately, in the few weeks that followed, we switched from company A to company B, and we now got a contract from them. And all this came about because of what they did in the stand. And it's worse, because if I was one sale and my value to them is worth approximately 400,000 in revenue, I saw them doing it again and again and again. And yet both companies are paying the same price for their stand. And if this exhibition was open 10 hours for 2 days in a row, so it was open for 20 hours, if they were just getting one me to switch from company A to company B every hour, that's £8 million in sales that was lost by company A to company B because of a better sales process. And by the way, in doing my due diligence before I handed over my money to company B, I checked them out on company's house, and lo and behold, I checked out company A, it's flat, its balance sheet's flat. Company B is growing year over year over year, growing at a rate of knots. And that's because they've got their sales process dialed in. So what does this mean to you? What does this mean to your business? It's not about exhibitions. It's not about if you've got big order value, low order value. It doesn't matter. The point is, have you got a dialed in sales process, and are your team trained? In other words, are they capturing information from leads? Are they qualifying those leads so you know how hot or not they are and how qualified they are to buy, so you know where to spend the majority of your time on the highest quality leads, right? And are you following up consistently? So all that is encapsulated inside of the sales process. So that is a mistake. Most companies don't have it. Company A was there and they had beautiful pictures, beautiful advertising. They were friendly. They were warm. They didn't do anything bad. But the company B was excellent at data capture and follow-up. And by the way, it wasn't just with those two companies. I did it with loads of others. I must have given my contact information to 7 or 8 companies while I was there for different things, right? For different things that I was interested in. Out of those 8 companies I gave my data to, 4 I never heard a thing from. There was no follow-up, right? And of the other 4, it was patchy at best. They would follow up once. One followed up one time 3 weeks after the event. This is crazy. So what is your sales process? What does optimum look like? Do you capture the data? Do you qualify the lead? And do you follow up consistently? Do that to stop you bleeding your sales and having your competitors steal your sales from you. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed that episode. 3 things you need to do now. Number 1, make sure you subscribe to this podcast so you do not miss an episode. Also, get on over to Amazon to get a copy of my latest book, Turnover is Vanity, Profit is Sanity, 9.5 steps to improving your profits and cash flow. Also, join our Facebook group, the Turnover is Vanity, Profit is Sanity community, to connect with other business owners.